So now we are going to discuss about hypothesis testing. This is one of the most interesting concepts present in your statistics. Most of the people I come across, I don't know why they find this topic to be a complicated topic. In fact, it is one of the most fun topic to know and most easy topic also to understand. So let's understand what is this hypothesis testing. So we will have a lot of examples to make it fun so that you can understand it well. Now, what we were doing till now in our inferential statistics, we were trying to infer some information about my population data from my sample data, right? So that is what we were doing. Now, we were doing all of that, but we were not able to confirm all those conclusions on top of them, right? So that is where your hypothesis play a role. Let me give you an example to give you a better picture of it. A few years back, there was a very famous incident which happened for a company called as Nestle. My friends from India can easily be aware of this company. They prepare Maggi. Right? So this is a very famous product from them, which is called as Maggi. Now, what Indian government did, they put a ban on Maggi for a particular time period. And the reason why they did was because there is a permissible limit of lead. Okay, so there is a permissible limit of lead which is allowed in your Maggi. Above that, it is actually harmful for people. Now, this permissible lead which is allowed is 2.5 ppm. If your Maggi which you are eating have more than this, it might be harmful for your health. So government need to ensure that companies do not kind of play with your health and do not kind of go ahead with more than permissible limit. And they regulate it with some kind of rules and all. Now they got a complaint that Maggie is having more than this ppm. Now the problem was how the government will determine that whether the claim which a person is doing, whether that the Maggie is using more than 2.5 ppm is correct, because definitely all their even all their companies who are kind of who also do the similar kind of business, they would also like to tell the wrong information so that the other company comes down, right? So, how the government will determine? Do you think it will be a good idea if they take one piece of Maggie, check it, and if they got, let's say, 2.6 ppm, they say that okay, let's cancel. Let's that person claim is true. Can they do that? No, because definitely when you pull only one packet of Maggie, it is just one packet, right? So you can't really infer anything about all the packets of Maggie by just looking at one packet of Maggie. So what is the other option? Other option is should the government go for now all the packets of Maggie and then calculate that okay, whether the average of this is coming as 2.5 ppm. Then Maggie will say that okay, let's close this down, because if they took all the Maggie packet, then what will be left with Nestle, right? They will be in complete big loss. So then what should they do? They want to take out a sample, right? They would like to take out a sample. Definitely this sample will be a small data, and it will be like they might pull up random sample, maybe one from Lucknow, one from Bangalore city, one from wherever, right? So they kind of are pulling some samples from different locations maybe. And then based on that sample, they calculated the average of your lead. Now let's say that came out to be 2.6. Remember, you have calculated with a sample. Can you still claim that this 2.6 number, since it is above 2.5, let's ban the whole Maggie thing? Think about it. Answer is maybe we have done some inferential statistics and with some confidence we are saying all this, but can we still verify our assumptions here? Can we still verify our conclusions here? This is where your hypothesis testing is going to help you. Okay, so your hypothesis play a major role in these sort of cases where you want to make some meaningful information out of a sample data. Okay, so this sample data here was a sample of packets what government have taken from Maggi, and your population was, if we infer something overall for all the packets available for Maggi, right? So that's what we want to do here. So we want to get some information about that entire population here, okay? And these claims what we make, we call it as hypothesis, okay? So basically we don't know about these claims, whether these claims are true or false. So this is called your hypothesis, and we will see two other examples as well. Even I can add like, let's say average time which I take to reach office is, let's say, 50 minutes. Or let's not talk about me. In fact, let's say if I say that for the whole Tech Love group, they takes around 50 minutes on average. So again, this is a claim, and let's say if I want to confirm whether this claim is perfectly true or not, we might want to go for hypothesis testing. Okay. Now, what is this hypothesis testing? So there are various ways basically to check whether your hypothesis have any truth involved in it. For example, in Maggi case, we want to verify the claim whether it's truth, full claim that the Maggi have more than 2.5 ppm. Okay, and if the hypothesis is true, then apply it on the population parameters. So we have to apply it on population parameters. We will learn this, that how to do all this mathematical calculations to come to a conclusion. So this overall step is called as hypothesis testing. So the goal here is to determine whether there is enough evidence to infer that the hypothesis about the population parameter is true. Okay, and there are various methods to do that. And in hypothesis testing, we are going to confirm our assumption about the population based on the sample data. Like how I took an example of your Maggi, where we were able to do some sort of claim, and we are going to confirm the claim that, okay, if the sample of the data is giving me this average, maybe the whole population will also have this sort of problem. So what's the difference between your inferential statistics and your hypothesis testing? So in inferential statistics, if you do remember, we had no initial number. So what we were doing, we were kind of going with either mean, median, all these things we were calculating, and then we were estimating our population mean from it by looking at some confidence interval. Right? So we were saying that, okay, maybe 90% of this chance we can say this. But now what we will do in hypothesis, we will be confirming our claims now, whatever claims we are making. So we will be confirming our conclusions so that we have a good idea that whether it is true for my population or not. So that is what we will be doing it up, and this is going to be very interesting, guys. So we will learn now in the next video about how to perform all these things.